13. Mr. Lewis's left eye is swollen shut, and blood drips onto his shirt from a slash on his cheek, but he refuses to go to the hospital. Daddy's office has become an examining room, and Mama tends to Mr. Lewis with Daddy's help. I lean against the doorway and watch. Devante stands even farther back in the store.
"It took 5 of them to take me down," Mr. Lewis says. 5 of them! Against one little old man. Ain't that something?
It's really something that you're alive, I say. Snitches get stitches doesn't apply to king lords. More like snitches get graves. Mama tilts Mr. Lewis's head to look at the cut on his cheek. She's right. You're real lucky, Mr. Lewis. Don't even need stitches.
King himself gave me that one, he says. He ain't come in till them other ones got me down, old punk ass, looking like a black Michelin man.
I snort.
This ain't funny, Daddy says. I told you they was gonna come after you. And I told you I ain't scared. If this the worst they could do, they ain't did nothing.
Nah, this ain't the worst, says Daddy. They could have killed you.
I ain't the one they want dead.
He stretches his fat finger my way, but he looks beyond me at Devante.
That's the one you need to worry about. I made him hide before they came in, but King said he know you helping that boy, and he gonna kill him if you find him.
Devante backs away, his eyes wide. I swear in like 2 seconds, Daddy grabs Devante by his neck and slams him against the freezer.
What the hell you do?
Devante kicks and squirms and tries to pull Daddy's hands from his neck. Daddy, stop!
Shut up!
His glare never leaves Devante.
I brought you in my house, and you ain't been honest about why you hiding? King wouldn't want you dead unless you did something, so what you do? Maverick!
Mama breaks his name down real good. Let him go. He can't explain anything with you choking him. Daddy releases, and Devante bends over, gasping for air.
Don't be putting your hands on me, he says. Or what? Daddy taunts. Start talking. Man, look, it ain't a big deal. King tripping.
Is he for real? What did you do? I ask. Devante slides onto the floor and tries to catch his breath. He blinks real fast for several seconds. His face scrunches up. Suddenly he's bawling like a baby. I don't know anything else to do, so I sit in front of him. When Khalil would cry like that because his mama was messed up, I'd lift his head. I lift Devante's. It's okay, I say. That always worked with Khalil. It works with Devante, too. He stops crying as hard and says,
I stole about 5 G's from King.
Damn it. Daddy groans. What the hell, man?
I had to get my family out of here. I was gonna handle the dudes that killed Dalvin and shit. All that would do was make some GDs come after me. I was a dead man walking, straight up. I didn't want my mama and my sisters caught up in that, so I got them some bus tickets and got them out of town.
That's why we can't get your mama on the phone, Mama realizes. Tears fall around his lips.
She didn't want me coming anyway. Said I'd get them killed. Put me out the house before they left.
He looks at Daddy.
Big Mav, I'm sorry. I should have told you the other day. I did change my mind about killing them dudes, though. But now King wants me dead. Please don't take me to him. I'll do anything, please.
He bet not.
Mr. Lewis limps out of Daddy's office.
You help that boy, Maverick.
Daddy stares at the ceiling like he could cuss God out. Daddy, I plead.
Aight. Come on, Vontae. Big Mav, he whimpers. I'm sorry. Please, I'm not taking you to King. but we gotta get you out of here. Now.
40 minutes later, Mama and I pull up behind Daddy and Devante in Uncle Carlos's driveway. I'm surprised Daddy knows how to get here. He never comes out here with us. Never. Holidays, birthdays, none of that. I guess he doesn't want to deal with Nana and her mouth. Mama and I get out her car as Daddy and Devante get out the truck. "This is where you're bringing him?" Mama says. "My brother's house?"
Yeah,
Daddy says, like it's no big deal. Uncle Carlos comes from the garage, wiping oil off his hands with one of Aunt Pam's good towels. He shouldn't be home. It's the middle of a work day, and he never takes sick days. He stops wiping his hands, but the knuckles on one of them are still dark. Devante squints against the sunlight and looks around like we brought him to another planet.
Damn, Big Mal, where we at?
"Where are we?" Uncle Carlos corrects and offers his hand.
Carlos, you must be Devante.
Devante stares at his hand. No manners at all.
How you know my name?
Uncle Carlos awkwardly lets his hand fall to his side.
Maverick told me about you. We've discussed getting you out here.
"Oh," Mama says, with a hollow laugh. "Maverick's discussed getting him out here." She narrows her eyes at Daddy. "I'm surprised you even knew how to get out here, Maverick." Daddy's nostrils flare.
We'll talk later. Come on, Uncle Carlos says. I'll show you your room.
Devante stares at the house, his eyes all big.
What you do to get a house like this?
"Dang, you're nosy," I say. Uncle Carlos chuckles.
It's okay, Star. My wife's a surgeon, and I'm a detective.
Devante stops dead. He turns on Daddy.
What the fuck, man? You brought me to a cop? Watch your mouth, Daddy says, and I brought you to somebody who actually want to help you.
A cop, though? If the homies find out, they gonna think I'm snitching. They're not your homies if you gotta hide from them, I say. Plus, Uncle Carlos wouldn't ask you to snitch.
She's right, says Uncle Carlos. Maverick's really serious about getting you out of Garden Heights.
Mama scoffs loudly.
When he told us the situation, we wanted to help, Uncle Carlos goes on. And it sounds like you need our help.
Devante sighs.
Man, this ain't cool. Look, I'm on leave, says Uncle Carlos. You don't have to worry about me getting information out of you.
Leave? I say. That explains the sweats in the middle of the day. Why'd they put you on leave? He glances from me to Mama, and she probably doesn't know I see her shake her head real quick.
Don't worry about it, baby girl, he says, hooking his arm around me. I needed a vacation.
It's so obvious. They put him on leave because of me. Nana meets us at the front door. Knowing her, she's been watching through the window since we got here. She has one arm folded and takes a drag of her cigarette with the other. She blows the smoke toward the ceiling while staring at Devante.
Who he supposed to be?
Devante, Uncle Carlos says. He's staying with us.
What you mean he's staying with us?
Just what I said. He got in a little trouble in Garden Heights and needs to stay here.
She scoffs, and I know where Mama gets it from.
A little trouble, huh? Tell the truth, boy.
She lowers her voice and asks with suspicious, squinted eyes.
Did you kill somebody?
Mama, my mama says.
What? I better ask before y'all have me sleeping in the house with a murderer, waking up dead.
What in the... You can't wake up dead, I say.
Little girl, you know what I mean.
She moves from the doorway.
I'll be waking up in Jesus' face trying to figure out what happened.
Like you going to heaven, Daddy mumbles.
Uncle Carlos gives Devante a tour. His room is about as big as me and Seven's rooms put together. It doesn't seem right that he only has a little backpack to put in it. And when we go to the kitchen, Uncle Carlos makes him hand that over.
There are a few rules for living here, Uncle Carlos says. 1, follow the rules. 2, he pulls the Glock from Devante's backpack. No weapons and no drugs. I know you ain't bring that in my house, Vontae, Daddy says. King probably got money on my head. You damn right I got a piece. Rule 3, Uncle Carlos speaks over him, no cursing. I have an 8-year-old and a 3-year-old. They don't need to hear that.
'Cause they hear it from Nana enough. Ava's new favorite word is God damn it.
Rule 4,
Uncle Carlos says.
Go to school. Man, Devante groans. I already told Big Mav I can't go back to Garden High. We know, Daddy says. Once we get in touch with your mama, we'll get you enrolled in an online program. Lisa's mama is a retired teacher. She can tutor you through it so you can finish the year out.
Like hell I can,
Nana says. I don't know where she is, but I'm not surprised she's listening.
Mama, stop being nosy,
Uncle Carlos says.
Stop volunteering me for shit.
Stop cursing,
he says.
Tell me what to do again and see what happens.
Uncle Carlos's face and neck go red. The doorbell rings.
Carlos, get the door,
Nana says from wherever she's hiding. He purses his lips and leaves to answer. As he comes back, I can hear him talking to somebody. Then somebody laughs, and I know that laugh 'cause it makes me laugh.
Look who I found,
Uncle Carlos says. Chris is behind him in his white Williamson polo and khaki shorts. He has on the red and black Jordan 12s that MJ wore when he had the flu during the '97 finals. Shoot. That makes Chris finer for some reason. Or I have a Jordan fetish.
Hi.
He smiles without showing teeth. Hi. I smile too. I forget that Daddy is here and that I potentially have a big-ass problem on my hands. That only lasts about 10 seconds, though, because Daddy asks,
Who are you?
Chris extends his hand to Daddy.
Christopher, sir. Nice to meet you.
Daddy gives him a twice-over.
You know my daughter or something?
Yeah. Chris stretches it kinda long and looks at me.
We both go to Williamson?
I nod. Good answer. Daddy folds his arms.
Well, do you or don't you? You sound a little unsure about that.
Mama gives Chris a quick hug. All the while, Daddy mean mugs the hell out of him. How are you doing, sweetie? She asks.
I'm fine. I didn't mean to interrupt anything. I saw your car, and Star wasn't at school today, so I wanted to check on her.
It's fine, says Mama. Tell your mom and dad I said hello. How are they?
Hold up,
Daddy says.
Y'all act like this dude been around a minute.
Daddy turns to me.
Why ain't I never heard about him?
It's gonna take a hell of a lot of boldness to put myself out there for Khalil. Like, I once told my militant black daddy about my white boyfriend kind of boldness. If I can't stand up to my dad about Chris, how can I stand up for Khalil? Daddy always tells me to never bite my tongue for anyone. That includes him. So I say it. He's my boyfriend.
Boyfriend?
Daddy repeats.
Yeah, her boyfriend.
Nana pipes up again from wherever she is.
Hey, Chris, baby.
Chris glances around, all confused.
Hey, Ms. Montgomery.
Nana was the first to find out about Chris, thanks to her master snooping skills. She told me,
Go ahead, get your swirl on, baby.
then proceeded to tell me about all of her swirling adventures, which I didn't need to know.
The hell, Star? Daddy says. You dating a white boy?
Maverick, Mama snaps.
Calm down, Maverick, Uncle Carlos says. He's a good kid, and he treats her well. That's all that matters, isn't it? You knew?
Daddy says. He looks at me, and I don't know if that's anger or hurt in his eyes.
He knew, and I didn't?
This happens when you have two dads. One of them's bound to get hurt, and you're bound to feel like shit because of it. Let's go outside, Mama says tightly. Now. Daddy glares at Chris and follows Mama to the patio. The doors have thick glass, but I still hear her go off on him.
Come on, Devante, Uncle Carlos says. Gonna show you the basement and the laundry room.
Devante sizes Chris up.
Boyfriend, he says with a slight laugh and looks at me. I should have known you'd have a white boy.
He leaves with Uncle Carlos. What the hell that's supposed to mean? Sorry, I tell Chris. My dad shouldn't have gone off like that.
It could have been worse. He could have killed me.
True. I motion him to sit at the counter while I get us some drinks.
Who was that guy with your uncle? He asks.
Aunt Pam ain't got one soda up in here. Juice, water, and sparkling water. I bet Nana has a stash of Sprite and Coke in her room, though. Devante, I say, grabbing 2 apple juice boxes. He got caught up in some King Lord stuff, and Daddy brought him to live with Uncle Carlos.
Why was he looking at me like that?
Get over it, Maverick! He's white! Mama shouts on the patio. White, white, white! Chris blushes, and blushes, and blushes, and blushes. I hand him a juice box. That's why Devante was looking at you that way. You're white.
Okay,
he asks more than says.
Is this one of those black things I won't understand?
Okay, babe, real talk. If you were somebody else, I'd side-eye the shit out of you for calling it that.
Calling it what? A black thing?
Yeah.
But isn't that what it is?
Not really, I say. It's not like this kind of stuff is exclusive to black people, you know. The reasoning may be different, but that's about it. Your parents don't have a problem with us dating?
I wouldn't call it a problem, Chris says, but we did talk about it.
So it's not just a black thing then, huh?
Point made.
We sit at the counter, and I listen to his play-by-play of school today. Nobody walked out because the police were there, waiting for any drama.
Haley and Maya asked about you, he says. I told them you were sick.
They could have texted me and asked themselves.
I think they feel guilty about yesterday. Especially Haley. White guilt.
He winks. I crack up. My white boyfriend talking about white guilt. Mama yells, "And I love how you insist on getting somebody else's child out of Garden Heights, but you want ours to stay in that hellhole."
You want them in the suburbs with all this fake shit? Daddy says.
If this is fake, baby, I'll take it over real any day. I'm sick of this. The kids go to school out here. I take them to church out here. Their friends are out here. We can afford to move. But you want to stay in that mess.
'Cause at least in Garden Heights, people ain't gonna treat them like shit.
They already do. And wait until King can't find Devante. Who do you think he's gonna look at? Us.
I told you I'll handle that, Daddy says. We ain't moving. It ain't even up for discussion.
Oh, really?
Really.
Chris gives me a bit of a smile.
This is awkward.
My cheeks are hot, and I'm glad I'm too brown for it to show. Yeah. Awkward. He takes my hand and taps his fingertips against my fingertips, one at a time. He laces his fingers through mine, and we let our arms swing together in the space between us. Daddy comes in and slams the door behind him. He zeroes straight in on our joined hands. Chris doesn't let go. Point for my boyfriend.
We'll talk later, Star.
Daddy marches out.
If this were a rom-com, Chris says, you'd be Zoe Saldana, and I'd be Ashton Kutcher.
Huh? He sips his juice.
This old movie, Guess Who? I caught it when I had the flu a few weeks ago. Zoe Saldana dated Ashton Kutcher. Her dad didn't like that she was seeing a white guy. That's us.
Except this isn't funny, I say.
It can be.
Nah. What's funny, though, is that you watched a rom-com.
Hey, he cries, it was hilarious. More of a comedy than a rom-com. Bernie Mac was her dad. That guy was hilarious, one of the kings of comedy. I don't think it can be called a rom-com simply because he was in it.
Okay. You get points for knowing Bernie Mac and that he was a king of comedy.
Everyone should know that.
True, but you don't get a pass. It was still a rom-com. I won't tell anyone, though. I lean over to kiss his cheek, but he moves his head, giving me no choice but to kiss him on the mouth. Soon we're making out, right there in my uncle's kitchen.
Hem, hem!
Somebody clears their throat. Chris and I separate so fast. I thought embarrassment was having my boyfriend hear my parents argue. Nope. Embarrassment is having my mom walk in on me and Chris making out. Again. Don't y'all think y'all should let each other breathe? She says. Chris blushes down to his Adam's apple.
I should go.
He leaves with a quick goodbye to Mama. She raises her eyebrows at me. Are you taking your birth control pills? Mommy! Answer my question, are you? Yes, I groan, putting my face on the countertop. When was your last cycle? Oh, my Lord! I lift my head and flash the fakest of fake smiles. We're fine. Promise. Y'all got some nerve. Your daddy was barely out the driveway and y'all slobbering all over each other. You know how Maverick is. Are we staying out here tonight? The question catches her off guard. Why would you think that? Because you and Daddy had a disagreement, that's all. A disagreement the whole neighborhood heard, plus one the other night. Star, we're okay. Don't worry about it. Your father's being your father. Outside, somebody honks his car horn a bunch of times. Mama rolls her eyes. Speaking of your father, I guess Mr. I'm gonna slam doors needs me to move my car so he can leave. She shakes her head and heads toward the front. I throw Chris's juice away and search the cabinets. Aunt Pam may be picky when it comes to drinks, but she always buys good snacks, and my stomach is talking. I get some graham crackers and slather peanut butter on them. So good. Devontae comes in the kitchen.
Can't believe you dating a white boy.
He sits next to me and steals a graham cracker sandwich.
A wigger at that.
Excuse you? I say, with a mouthful of peanut butter. Here's not a wigger.
Please, dude wearing J's. White boys wear Converse and Vans, not no J's, unless they trying to be black.
Really? My bad. I didn't know shoes determined somebody's race. He can't say anything to that, like I thought.
What you see in him anyway, for real? All them dudes in Garden Heights who would get with you in a second and you looking at Justin Bieber?
I point in his face. Don't call him that. And what dudes? Nobody in Garden Heights is checking for me. Hardly anybody knows my name. Hell, even you called me Big Mav's daughter who work in the store.
'Cause you don't come around, he says. I ain't never seen you at a party, nothing.
Without thinking, I say, "You mean parties where people get shot at?" And as soon as it leaves my mouth, I feel like shit. Oh my God, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have said that. He stares at the countertop.
It's cool. Don't worry about it.
We quietly nibble on graham crackers. I say. The silence is brutal. Uncle Carlos and Aunt Pam are cool. I think you'll like it here. He bites another graham cracker. They can be corny sometimes, but they're sweet. They'll look out for you. Knowing Aunt Pam, she'll treat you like Ava and Daniel. Uncle Carlos will probably be tougher. If you follow the rules, you'll be okay.
Khalil talked about you sometimes, Devante says.
Huh?
You said nobody knows you, but Khalil talked about you. I ain't know you was Big Mav's daughter I ain't know that was you, he says, but he talked about his friend Star. He said you were the coolest girl he knew.
Some peanut butter gets stuck in my throat, but it's not the only reason I swallow. How did you know? Oh, yeah. Both of y'all were king lords. I swear to God, whenever I think about Khalil falling into that life, it's like watching him die all over again. Yeah, Khalil matters, and not the stuff he did, but I can't lie and say it doesn't bother me, or it's not disappointing. He knew better. Devante says,
Khalil wasn't a king lord, Star.
But at the funeral, King put the bandana on him.
To save face, Devante says. He tried to get Khalil to join, but Khalil said nah. Then a cop killed him, so, you know, all the homies riding for him now. King not about to admit that Khalil turned him down, so he got folks thinking that Khalil repped king lords.
Wait, I say. How do you know he turned King down?
Khalil told me in the park one day. We was posted up.
So y'all sold drugs together?
Yeah. For King.
Oh.
He didn't want to sell drugs, Star.
Devante says.
Nobody really want to do that shit. Khalil ain't have much of a choice, though.
Yeah, he did, I say thickly.
No, he didn't. Look, his mama stole some shit from King. King wanted her dead. Khalil found out and started selling to pay the debt.
What?
Yeah, that's the only reason he started doing that shit. Trying to save her.
I can't believe it. Then again, I can. That was classic Khalil. No matter what his mama did, he was still her knight, and he was still gonna protect her. This is worse than denying him. I thought the worst of him. Like everybody else.
Don't be mad at him, Devante says.
And it's funny because I can hear Khalil asking me not to be mad too. I'm not, I sigh. Okay, I was a little mad. I just hate how he's being called a thug and shit when people don't know the whole story. You said it, he wasn't a gangbanger. And if everybody knew why he sold drugs, then
they wouldn't think he was a thug, like me.
Oh, damn. I didn't mean...
It's cool, he says. I get it. I guess I am a thug. I don't know, I did what I had to do. King Lords was the closest thing me and Dalvin had to a family.
But your mama, I say, and your sisters...
They couldn't look out for us like King Lords do, he says. Me and Dalvin looked out for them. With King Lords, we had a whole bunch of folks who had our backs no matter what. They bought us clothes and shit our mama couldn't afford and always made sure we ate.
He looks at the counter.
It was just cool to have somebody take care of us for a change, instead of the other way around.
Oh. A shitty response, I know.
Like I said, nobody likes selling drugs, he says. I hated that shit, for real. But I hated seeing my mama and my sisters go hungry, you know?
I don't know. I've never had to know. My parents made sure of that.
You got it good then, he says. I'm sorry they talking about Khalil like that, though. He really was a good dude. Hopefully one day they can find out the truth.
Yeah, I say quietly. Devante. Khalil. Neither one of them thought they had much of a choice. If I were them, I'm not sure I'd make a much better one. Guess that makes me a thug, too. I'm going for a walk, I say, getting up. My head's all over the place. You can have the rest of the graham crackers and peanut butter. I leave. I don't know where I'm going. I don't know much of anything anymore. 14. I end up at Maya's house. Truth be told, that's the farthest I can go in Uncle Carlos's neighborhood before the houses start looking the same. It's that weird time between day and night when the sky looks like it's on fire and mosquitoes are on the hunt. All of the lights at the Yang house are already on, which is a lot of lights. Their house is big enough for me and my family to live with them and have a little wiggle room. There's a blue Infiniti coupe with a dented bumper in the circular driveway. Haley can't drive for shit. No lie, it stings a little knowing they hang out without me. That's what happens when you live so far away from your friends. I can't get mad about it. Jealous, maybe, not mad. That protest shit, though? Now that makes me mad. Mad enough to ring the doorbell. Besides, I told Maya the three of us could talk, so fine. We'll talk. Mrs. Yang answers, her Bluetooth headset around her neck. Star! She beams and hugs me. So good to see you. How is everyone? Good, I say. She announces my arrival to Maya and lets me in. The aroma of Mrs. Yang's seafood lasagna greets me in the foyer. I hope it's not a bad time, I say. Not at all, sweetie. Maya's upstairs. Haley, too. You're more than welcome to join us for dinner. No, George, I wasn't talking to you, she says into her headset, then mouths at me, my assistant, and rolls her eyes a little. I smile and take off my Nike Dunks. In the Yang house, shoe removal is part Chinese tradition, part Mrs. Yang likes people to be comfy. Maya races down the stairs wearing an oversized t-shirt and basketball shorts that almost hang to her ankles. Star! She reaches the bottom, and there's this awkward moment where her arms are out like she wants to hug me, but she starts lowering them. I hug her anyway. It's been a while since I got a good Maya hug. Her hair smells like citrus, and she hugs all tight and motherly. Maya leads me to her bedroom. White Christmas lights hang from the ceiling. There's a shelf for video games, Adventure Time memorabilia all around, and Haley in a beanbag chair, concentrating on the basketball player she's controlling on Maya's flat screen. Look who's here, Hales, Maya says. Haley glances up at me. Hey. Hey. It's awkward central in here. I step over an empty Sprite can and a bag of Doritos and sit in the other beanbag chair. Maya closes her door. An old-school poster of Michael Jordan in his famous Jumpman pose is on the back. Maya belly flops onto her bed and grabs a controller off the floor. You want to join in, Star? Yeah, sure. She hands me a third controller and we start a new game. The three of us against a computer-controlled team. It's a lot like when we play in real life, a combination of rhythm, chemistry, and skill. But the awkwardness in the room is so thick it's hard to ignore. They keep glancing at me, I keep my eyes on the screen. The animated crowd cheers as Haley's player makes a three-pointer. Nice shot, I say. Okay, cut the crap. Haley grabs the TV remote and flicks the game off, turning to a detective show instead. Why are you mad at us? Why did you protest? Since she wants to cut the crap, may as well get right to it. Because, she says, like that's reason enough. I don't see what the big deal is, Star. You said you didn't know him. Why does that make a difference? Isn't a protest a good thing? Not if you're only doing it to cut class. So you want us to apologize for it even though everybody else did it too? Haley asks. Just because everyone else did it doesn't mean it's okay. Shit, I sound like my mother. Guys, stop, Maya says. Haley, if Star wants us to apologize, fine. We can apologize. Star, I'm sorry for protesting. It was stupid to use a tragedy just to get out of class. We look at Haley. She sits back and folds her arms. I'm not apologizing when I didn't do anything wrong. If anything, she should apologize for accusing me of being racist last week. Wow, I say. One thing that irks the hell out of me about Haley? The way she can turn an argument around and make herself the victim. She's a master at this shit. I used to fall for it, but now? I'm not apologizing for what I felt, I say. I don't care what your intention was, Haley. That fried chicken comment felt racist to me. Fine, she says. Just like I felt it was fine to protest. Since I won't apologize for what I felt and you won't apologize for what you felt, I guess we'll just watch TV. Fine, I say. Maya grunts like it's taking everything in her not to choke us. You know what? If you two want to be this stubborn, fine. Maya flicks through channels. Haley does that BS move where you look at someone out the corner of your eye, but you don't want them to know that you care enough to look, so you avert your eyes. At this point, it's whatever. I thought I came to talk, but yeah, I really want an apology. I look at TV. A singing competition. A reality show. 1:15. A celebrity dance. Wait. Back up, I tell Maya. She flicks through the channels, and when he appears again, I say, right there. I've pictured his face so much. Actually seeing it again is different. My memory is pretty spot on. A thin, jagged scar above his lip, bursts of freckles that cover his face and neck. My stomach churns and my skin crawls, and I want to get away from 1:15. My instinct doesn't care that it's a photograph being shown on TV. A silver cross pendant hangs from his neck, like he's saying Jesus endorses what he did. We must believe in a different Jesus. What looks like an older version of him appears on the screen, but this man doesn't have the scar on his lip, and there are more wrinkles on his neck than freckles. He has white hair, although there's still some streaks of brown in it. My son was afraid for his life, he says. He only wanted to get home to his wife and kids. Pictures flash on the screen. 1:15 smiles with his arms draped around a blurred-out woman. He's on a fishing trip with two small, blurred-out children. They show him with a smiley golden retriever, with his pastor and some fellow deacons who are all blurred out, and then in his police uniform. Officer Brian Cruz Jr. has been on the force for 16 years, the voiceover says, and more pics of him as a cop are shown. He's been a cop for as long as Khalil was alive, and I wonder if in some sick twist of fate, Khalil was only born for this man to kill. A majority of those years have been spent serving in Garden Heights, the voiceover continues, a neighborhood notorious for gangs and drug dealers. I tense as footage of my neighborhood, my home, is shown. It's like they picked the worst parts, the drug addicts roaming the streets, The broken down Cedar Grove projects, gangbangers flashing signs, bodies on the sidewalks with white sheets over them. What about Mrs. Rooks and her cakes? Or Mr. Lewis and his haircuts? Mr. Rubin, the clinic, my family? Me. I feel Haley's and Maya's eyes on me. I can't look at them.
My son loved working in the neighborhood, 115's father claims. He always wanted to make a difference in the lives there.
Funny. Slave masters thought they were making a difference in black people's lives too, saving them from their wild African ways. Same shit, different century. I wish people like them would stop thinking that people like me need saving. 115 Sr. talks about his son's life before the shooting, how he was a good kid who never got into trouble, always wanted to help others. A lot like Khalil. But then he talks about the stuff 115 did that Khalil will never get to do, like go to college, get married, have a family. The interviewer asks about that night.
Apparently, Brian pulled the kid over because he had a broken taillight and was speeding.
Khalil wasn't speeding.
He told me, Pop, soon as I pulled him over, I had a bad feeling, says 115 Sr.
Why is that? The interviewer asks.
He said the kid and his friend immediately started cursing him out.
We never cursed.
And they kept glancing at each other, like they were up to something. Brian says that's when he got scared, because they could have taken him down if they teamed up.
I couldn't have taken anyone down. I was too afraid. He makes us sound like we're superhumans. We're kids.
No matter how afraid he is, my son's still gonna do his job, he says, and that's all he set out to do that night. There have been reports that Khalil Harris was unarmed when the incident took place, the interviewer says. Has your son told you why he made the decision to shoot? Brian says he had his back to the kid, and he heard the kid say, I'm gonna show your ass today.
No. Khalil asked if I was okay.
Brian turned around and saw something in the car door. He thought it was a gun.
It was a hairbrush. His lips quiver. My body shakes. He covers his mouth to hold back a sob. I cover mine to keep from puking.
Brian's a good boy, he says in tears. He only wanted to get home to his family, and people are making him out to be a monster.
That's all Khalil and I wanted, and you're making us out to be monsters. I can't breathe. Like I'm drowning in the tears I refuse to shed, I won't give 115 or his father the satisfaction of crying. Tonight, they shot me too, more than once, and killed a part of me. Unfortunately for them, it's the part that felt any hesitation about speaking out.
How has your son's life changed since this happened? The interviewer asks. All of our lives have been hell, honestly, his father claims. Brian's a people person, but now he's afraid to go out in public, even for something as simple as getting a gallon of milk. There have been threats on his life, our family's lives. His wife had to quit her job. He's even been attacked by fellow officers.
Physically or verbally? The interviewer asks.
Both,
he says. It hits me. Uncle Carlos's bruised knuckles. This is awful, Haley says. That poor family. She's looking at 115 Sr. with sympathy that belongs to Brenda and Miss Rosalie. I blink several times. What? His son lost everything because he was trying to do his job and protect himself. His life matters too, you know? I cannot right now. I can't. I stand up, or otherwise I will say or do something really stupid, like punch her. I need to, yeah. I say all that I can and start for the door, but Maya grabs the tail of my cardigan. Whoa, whoa! You guys haven't worked this out yet, she says. Maya, I say, as calmly as possible, please let me go. I cannot talk to her. Did you not hear what she said? Are you serious right now? Haley asks. What's wrong with saying his life matters too? His life always matters more. My voice is gruff and my throat is tight. That's the problem. Star! Maya says, trying to catch my eye. I look at her. What's going on? You're Harry in Order of the Phoenix angry lately. Thank you, Haley says. She's been in bitch mode for weeks but wants to blame me. Excuse you? There's a knock on the door. Girls, is everything okay? Mrs. Yang asks. We're fine, Mom. Video game stuff. Maya looks at me and lowers her voice. Please sit down. Please. I sit on her bed. Commercials replace 115 Senior on the TV and fill in the gap of silence we've created. I blurt out, Why did you unfollow my Tumblr? Haley turns toward me. What? You unfollowed my Tumblr. Why? She glances at Maya quickly, but I notice and goes, I don't know what you're talking about. Cut the bullshit, Haley. You unfollowed me months ago. Why? She doesn't say anything. I swallow. Is it because of the Emmett Till picture? Oh my God, she says, standing up. Here we go again. I am not going to stay here and let you accuse me of something. Star, you don't text me anymore, I say. You freaked out about that picture. Do you hear her? Haley says to Maya. Once again, calling me racist. I'm not calling you anything. I'm asking a question and giving you examples. You're insinuating. I never even mentioned race. Silence comes between us. Haley shakes her head. Her lips are thin. Unbelievable. She grabs her jacket off Maya's bed and starts for the door. She stops, and her back is to me. You want to really know why I unfollowed you, Star? Because I don't know who the hell you are anymore. She slams the door on her way out. The news program returns on the television. They show footage of protests all over the country, not just in Garden Heights. Hopefully none of them used Khalil's death to skip class or work. Out of nowhere, Maya says, That's not why. She's staring at her closed door, her shoulders a bit stiff. Huh? I say. She's lying, Maya says. That's not why she unfollowed you. She said she didn't want to see that shit on her dashboard. I figured. That Emmett Till picture, right? No. All the black stuff, she called it. The petitions, the Black Panther pictures, that post on those 4 little girls who were killed in that church, the stuff about that Marcus Garvey guy, the one about those Black Panthers who were shot by the government. Fred Hampton and Bobby Hutton, I say. Yeah, them. Wow. She's been paying attention. Why didn't you tell me? She stares at her plush fin on the floor. I hoped she'd change her mind before you found out. I should have known better, though. It's not like that's the first fucked up thing she's said. What are you talking about? Maya swallows hard. Do you remember that time she asked if my family ate a cat for Thanksgiving? What? When? Her eyes are glossy. Freshman year. First period. Mrs. Edwards' biology class. We'd just gotten back from Thanksgiving break. Class hadn't started yet, and we were talking about what we did for Thanksgiving. I told you guys my grandparents visited, and it was their first time celebrating Thanksgiving. Haley asked if we ate a cat, because we're Chinese. Holy shit. I'm racking my brain right now. Freshman year is so close to middle school. There's a huge possibility I said or did something extremely stupid. I'm afraid to know, but I ask, what did I say? Nothing. You had this look on your face like you couldn't believe she said that. She claimed it was a joke and laughed. I laughed, and then you laughed. Maya blinks a lot. I only laughed because I thought I was supposed to. I felt like shit the rest of the week. Oh. Yeah. I feel like shit right now. I can't believe I let Haley say that. Or has she always joked like that? Did I always laugh because I thought I had to? That's the problem. We let people say stuff, and they say it so much that it becomes okay to them and normal for us. What's the point of having a voice if you're going to be silent in those moments you shouldn't be? Maya, I say. Yeah? We can't let her get away with saying stuff like that again. Okay? She cracks a smile. A minority alliance? Hell yeah, I say, and we laugh. All right, deal. A game of NBA 2K15 later, I whooped Maya's butt. I'm walking back to Uncle Carlos's house with a foil-wrapped plate of seafood lasagna. Mrs. Yang never lets me leave empty-handed, and I never turn down food. Iron street lamps line the sidewalks, and I see Uncle Carlos from a few houses down, sitting on his front steps in the dark. He's chugging back something, and as I get closer, I can see the Heineken. I put my plate on the steps and sit beside him.
You better not have been at your little boyfriend's house, he says.
Lord. Chris is always Lil to him, and they're almost the same height. No, I was at Maya's. I stretch my legs forward and yawn. It's been a long-ass day.
I can't believe you're drinking,
I say through my yawn.
I'm not drinking. It's one beer.
Is that what Nana said? He cuts me a look.
Star.
Uncle Carlos, I say, as firmly. We battle it out, hard stare versus hard stare. He sets the beer down. Here's the thing. Nana's an alcoholic. She's not as bad as she used to be, but all it takes is one hard drink, and she's the other Nana. I've heard stories of her drunken rages from back in the day. She'd blame Mama and Uncle Carlos that their daddy went back to his wife and other kids. She'd lock them out the house, cuss at them, all kinds of stuff. So no, one beer isn't one beer to Uncle Carlos, who's always been anti-alcohol.
Sorry,
he says.
It's one of those nights.
You saw the interview, didn't you? I ask.
Yeah. I was hoping you didn't.
I did. Did my mom see?
Oh yeah, she saw it. So did Pam and your grandma. I've never been in a room with so many pissed off women in my life.
He looks at me.
How are you dealing with it?
I shrug. Yeah, I'm pissed. But honestly, I expected his dad to make him the victim.
I did too.
He rests his cheek in his palm, his elbow propped on his knee. It's not too dark on the steps. I see the bruising on his hand fine. So, I say, patting my knees. On leave, huh? He looks at me like he's trying to figure out what I'm getting at.
Yeah.
Silence. Did you fight him, Uncle Carlos?
He straightens up. No. I had a discussion with him.
You mean your fist talked to his eye? Did he say something about me?
He pointed his gun at you. That was more than enough.
His voice has a foreign edge to it. It's totally inappropriate, but I laugh. I have to hold my side, I laugh so hard.
What's so funny?
He cries. Uncle Carlos, you punched somebody.
Hey, I'm from Garden Heights. I know how to fight. I can get down.
I'm hollering right now.
It's not funny, he says. I shouldn't have lost my cool like that. It was unprofessional. Now I've set a bad example for you.
Yeah, you have, Muhammad Ali. I'm still laughing. Now he's laughing.
Hush,
he says. Our laughter dies down, and it's real quiet out here. Nothing to do but look at the sky and all the stars. There's so many of them tonight. It's possible that I don't notice them at home because of all the other stuff. Sometimes it's hard to believe Garden Heights and Riverton Hills share the same sky.
You remember what I used to tell you?
Uncle Carlos says. I scoot closer to him. That I'm not named after the stars, but the stars are named after me? You were really trying to give me a big head, huh? He chuckles.
No. I wanted you to know how special you are.
Special or not, you shouldn't have risked your job for me. You love your job.
But I love you more. You're one reason I even became a cop, baby girl. Because I love you and all those folks in the neighborhood.
I know. That's why I don't want you to risk it. We need the ones like you.
The ones like me.
He gives a hollow laugh.
You know, I got pissed listening to that man talk about you and Khalil like that. But it made me consider the comments I made about Khalil that night in your parents' kitchen.
What comments?
I know you were eavesdropping, Star. Don't act brand new. I smirk.
Uncle Carlos said brand new. You mean when you called Khalil a drug dealer? He nods.
Even if he was, I knew that boy. Watched him grow up with you. He was more than any bad decision he made, he says. I hate that I let myself fall into that mindset of trying to rationalize his death. And at the end of the day, you don't kill someone for opening a car door. If you do, you shouldn't be a cop.
I tear up. It's good to hear my parents and Miss Ofra say that, or see all the protesters shout about it. From my uncle, the cop, though, it's a relief, even if it makes everything hurt a little more.
I told Brian that, he says, looking at his knuckles, after I clocked him. Told the chief, too. Actually, I think I screamed it loud enough for everybody in the precinct to hear. It doesn't take away from what I did, though. I dropped the ball on Khalil.
No, you didn't.
Yes, I did, he says. I knew him. Knew his family's situation. After he stopped coming around with you, he was out of sight and out of mind to me. And there's no excuse for that.
There's no excuse for me either. I think all of us feel like that, I mutter. That's one reason Daddy's determined to help Devante.
Yeah,
he says.
Me too.
I look at all the stars again. Daddy says he named me Star because I was his light in the darkness. I need some light in my own darkness right about now.
I wouldn't have killed Khalil, by the way,
Uncle Carlos says.
I don't know a lot of stuff, but I do know that.
My eyes sting, and my throat tightens. I've turned into such a damn crybaby. I snuggle closer to Uncle Carlos and hope it says everything I can't. 15. It takes an untouched stack of pancakes for Mama to say,
"All right, Munch. What's up?"
We have a table to ourselves in IHOP. It's early morning, and the restaurant's almost empty, except for us and these big-bellied, bearded truckers stuffing their faces in a booth. Thanks to them, country music plays on the jukebox. I poke my fork at my pancakes. Not real hungry. Somewhat a lie, somewhat the truth. I'm having a serious emotional hangover. There's that interview, Uncle Carlos, Haley, Khalil, Devante, my parents. Mama, Sakani, and I spent the night at Uncle Carlos's house. And I know it was more because Mama's mad at Daddy than it was about the riots. In fact, the news said last night was the first semi-peaceful night in the garden. Just protests, no riots. Cops were still throwing tear gas, though. Anyway, if I bring up my parents' fight, Mama's gonna tell me, stay out of grown folks' business. You'd think since it's partially my fault they fought, it is my business. But nope. I don't know who's supposed to believe that you're not hungry, Mama says. You've always been greedy. I roll my eyes and yawn. She got me up too early and said we were going to IHOP, just the two of us, like we used to do before Sakani came along and ruined everything. He has an extra uniform at Uncle Carlos's and can go to school with Daniel. I only had some sweats and a Drake t-shirt, not DA office appropriate. I gotta go home and change. Thanks for bringing me here, I say. With my awful mood, I owe her that. Anytime, baby. We haven't hung out in a while. Somebody decided I wasn't cool anymore. I thought I was still cool, so whatever. She sips from her steaming mug of coffee. Are you scared to talk to the DA? Not really. Although I do notice the clock is only 3.5 hours away from our 9:30 meeting. Is it that BS of an interview? That bastard? Here we go again. Mama got his damn daddy going on TV telling lies, she says. And who's supposed to believe a grown man was that scared of 2 children? People on the internet are saying the same thing. Black Twitter's been going in on Officer Cruz's dad, claiming his name should be Tom Cruise with that performance he put on. Tumblr, too. I'm sure there are people who believe him. Haley did. But Miss Ofra was right. It backfired. Folks who never met me or Khalil are calling BS. So while the interview bothers me, it doesn't bother me that much. It's not really the interview, I say. It's other stuff, too. Like? Khalil, I say. Devante told me some stuff about him, and I feel guilty. Stuff like what? She says. Why he sold drugs? He was trying to help Miss Brenda pay a debt to King. Mama's eyes widen. What? Yeah. And he wasn't a King Lord. Khalil turned King down, and King's been lying to save face. Mama shakes her head. Why am I not surprised? King would do some mess like that. I stare at my pancakes. I should have known better. Should have known Khalil better. You had no way of knowing, baby, she says. That's the thing. If I would have been there for him, I couldn't have stopped him. Khalil was almost as stubborn as you. I know you cared about him a lot, even as more than a friend, but you can't blame yourself for this. I look up at her. What you mean cared about him as more than a friend? Don't play dumb, Star. Y'all liked each other for a long time. You think he liked me too? Lord. Mama rolls her eyes. Between the two of us, I'm the old one. You just called yourself old. Older one, she corrects, and shoots me a quick stank eye. And I saw it. How in the world did you miss it? I don't know. He always talked about other girls, not me. It's weird, though. I thought I was over my crush, but sometimes I don't know. Mama traces the rim of her mug. Munch, she says, and it's followed by a sigh. Baby, look. You're grieving, okay? That can amplify your emotions, and make you feel things you haven't felt in a long time. Even if you do have feelings for Khalil, there's nothing wrong with that. Even though I'm with Chris? Yes, you're 16. You're allowed to have feelings for more than one person. So you're saying I can be a hoe? Girl, she points at me, don't make me kick you under this table. I'm saying, don't beat yourself up about it. Grieve Khalil all you want. Miss him. Allow yourself to miss what could have been. Let your feelings get out of whack. But like I told you, don't stop living. All right? All right. Good. So that's 2 things, she says. What else is up? What isn't up? My head is tight like my brain is overloaded. I'm guessing emotional hangovers feel a lot like actual hangovers. Haley, I say. She slurps her coffee, loudly. What that little girl do now? Here she goes with this. Mama, you've never liked her. No, I've never liked how you've followed her like you can't think for yourself. Difference. I haven't. Don't lie. Remember that drum set you begged me to buy? Why did you want it, Star? Haley wanted to start a band, but I liked the idea too. Hold up, though. Didn't you tell me you wanted to play guitar in this band, but Haley said you should play drums? Yeah, but them little Jonas boys, she says. Which one did you really like? Joe. But who said you should be with the curly-headed one instead? Haley. But Nick was still fine as all get out, and this is middle school stuff. Uh-huh. Last year, you begged me to let you color your hair purple. Why, Star? I wanted... No. Why, Star? She says. The real why. Damn, there's a pattern here. Because Haley wanted me, her, and Maya to have matching hair. Exact-damnly. Baby, I love you, but you have a history of putting your wants aside and doing whatever that little girl wants. Excuse me if I don't like her. With all my receipts put out there like that, I say, I can see why. Good. Realizing is the first step. So what'd she do now? We had an argument yesterday, I say. Really, though, things have been weird for a while. She stopped texting me and unfollowed my Tumblr. Mama reaches her fork onto my plate and breaks off a piece of pancake. What is Tumblr, anyway? Is it like Facebook? No. And you're forbidden to get one. No parents allowed. You guys already took over Facebook. You haven't responded to my friend request yet. I know. I need Candy Crush lives. That's why I'll never respond. She gives me the look. I don't care. There are some things I absolutely refuse to do. So, she unfollowed your Tumblr thingy, Mama says, proving why she can never have one. Is that all? No. She said and did some stupid stuff, too. I rub my eyes. Like I said, it's too early. I'm starting to wonder why we're friends. Well, Munch. She gets another freaking piece of my pancakes. You have to decide if the relationship is worth salvaging. Make a list of the good stuff, then make a list of the bad stuff. If one outweighs the other, then you know what you gotta do. Trust me, that method hasn't failed me yet. Is that what you did with Daddy after Aisha got pregnant? I ask. 'Cause I'll be honest, I would have kicked him to the curb. No offense. It's all right. A lot of people called me a fool for going back to your daddy. Shoot, they may still call me a fool behind my back. Your Nana would have a stroke if she knew this, but she's the real reason I stayed with your daddy. I thought Nana hated Daddy. I think Nana still hates Daddy. Sadness creeps into Mama's eyes, but she gives me a small smile. When I was growing up, your grandmother would do and say hurtful things when she was drunk, and apologize the next morning. At an early age, I learned that people make mistakes, and you have to decide if their mistakes are bigger than your love for them. She takes a deep breath. Seven's not a mistake. I love him to death. But Maverick made a mistake in his actions. However, all of his good and the love we share outweighs that one mistake. Even with crazy Aisha in our lives? I ask. Mama chuckles. Even with crazy, messy, annoying Aisha. It's a little different, yeah. But if the good outweighs the bad, keep Haley in your life, baby. That might be the problem. A lot of the good stuff is from the past. The Jonas Brothers, High School Musical, our shared grief. Our friendship is based on memories. What do we have now? What if the good doesn't outweigh the bad? I ask. Then let her go, Mama says. And if you keep her in your life and she keeps doing the bad, let her go. Because I promise you, had your daddy pulled some mess like that again, I'd be married to Idris Elba and saying, Maverick who? I bust out laughing. Now eat, she says, and hands me her fork, before I have no choice but to eat these pancakes for you. I'm so used to seeing smoke in Garden Heights. It's weird when we go back and there isn't any. It's dreary because of a late-night storm, but we can ride with the windows down. Even though the riot stopped, we pass as many tanks as we pass lowriders. But at home, smoke greets us at the front door. Maverick! Mama hollers, and we hurry toward the kitchen. Daddy pours water on a skillet at the sink, and the skillet responds with a loud sizzle and a white cloud. Whatever he burned it bad.
Hallelujah!
Seven throws his hands up at the table.
Somebody who can actually cook.
Shut up,
Daddy says. Mama takes the skillet and examines the unidentifiable remains. What was this? Eggs?
Glad to see you know how to come home,
he says. He walks right by me without a glance or a good morning. He's still pissed about Chris? Mama gets a fork and stabs at the charred food stuck to the skillet. You want some breakfast, Seven, baby? He watches her and goes,
nah. By the way, the skillet didn't do anything, Ma.
You're right, she says, but she keeps stabbing. Seriously, I can fix you something. Eggs, bacon. She looks toward the hall and shouts, The pork kind? Pig? Swine? All of that. So much for the good outweighing the bad. Seven and I look at each other. We hate when they fight because we always get stuck in the middle of their wars. Our appetites are the greatest casualty. If Mama's mad and not cooking, we have to eat Daddy's struggle meals, like spaghetti with ketchup and hot dogs in it.
I'll grab something at school.
Seven kisses her cheek.
Thanks, though.
He gives me a fist bump on his way out, the Seven way of wishing me good luck. Daddy returns wearing a backwards cap. He grabs his keys and a banana. We have to be at the DA's office at 9:30, Mama says. Are you coming?
Oh, Carlos can't do it? Since he the one y'all let in on secrets and stuff.
You know what, Maverick?
I'll be there,
he says, and leaves. Mama stabs the skillet some more. The DA personally escorts us to a conference room. Her name is Karen Monroe, and she's a middle-aged white lady who claims she understands what I'm going through. Ms. Ofra is already in the conference room along with some people who work at the DA's office. Ms. Monroe gives a long speech about how much she wants justice for Khalil and apologizes that it's taken this long for us to meet.
12 days, to be exact,
Daddy points out.
Too long, if you ask me.
Ms. Monroe looks a bit uncomfortable at that. She explains the grand jury proceedings. Then she asks about that night. I pretty much tell her what I told the cops, except she doesn't ask any stupid questions about Khalil. But when I get to the part when I describe the number of shots, how they hit Khalil in his back, the look on his face, my stomach bubbles, bile pools in my mouth, and I gag. Mama jumps up and grabs a garbage bin. She puts it in front of me quick enough to catch the vomit that spews from my mouth. And I cry and puke. Cry and puke. It's all I can do. The DA gets me a soda and says, "That'll be all today, sweetie. Thank you." Daddy helps me to Mama's car, and people in the halls gawk. I bet they know I'm the witness from my teary, snotty face and are probably giving me a new name. Poor thing. As in, oh, that poor thing. That makes it worse. I get in the car away from their pity and rest my head against the window, feeling like shit. Mama parks in front of the store and Daddy pulls up behind us. He gets out his truck and comes to Mama's side of the car. She rolls her window down. "I'm going to the school," she tells him. "They need to know what's going on. Can she stay with you?"
"Yeah, that's fine. She can rest in the office."
Another thing puking and crying gets you. People talk about you like you're not there and make plans for you. Poor thing apparently can't hear. "You sure?" Mama asks him. "Or do I need to take her to Carlos?" Daddy sighs.
"Lisa."
"Maverick, I don't give a flying monkey's ass what your problem is. Just be there for your daughter. Please?" Daddy moves to my side of the car and opens the door.
"Come here, baby."
I climb out, blubbering like a little kid who skinned her knee. Daddy pulls me into his chest, rubbing my back and kissing my hair. Mama drives off.
"I'm sorry, baby,"
he says. The crying, the puking don't mean anything anymore. My daddy's got me. We go in the store. Daddy turns on the lights but keeps the closed sign in the window. He goes to his office for a second, then comes back to me and holds my chin.
"Open your mouth,"
he says. I open it, and his face scrunches up.
"Ew. We gotta get you a whole bottle of mouthwash. About to raise the dead with that breath."
I laugh with tears in my eyes. Like I said, Daddy's talented that way. He wipes my face with his hands, which are rough as sandpaper, but I'm used to them. He frames my face. I smile.
"There go my baby," he says. "You'll be all right."
I feel normal enough to say, "Now I'm your baby? You haven't been acting like it."
"Don't start."
He goes down the medicine aisle.
"Sounding like your mama."
"I'm just saying. You've been extra salty today." He returns with a bottle of Listerine.
"Here, before you kill my produce with your breath."
"Like you killed those eggs this morning?"
"Hey, those were blackened eggs. Y'all don't know about that."
"Nobody knows about that." A couple of rinses in the restroom transform my mouth from a swamp of puke residue to normal. Daddy waits on the wooden bench at the front of the store. Our older customers who can't walk much usually sit there as Daddy, Seven, or I get their groceries for them. Daddy pats the spot next to him. I sit. "You're gonna open back up soon?"
"In a little bit. What you see in that white boy?"
Damn. I wasn't expecting him to go right into it. "Besides the fact that he's adorable," I say, and Daddy makes a gagging sound. "He's smart, funny, and he cares about me. A lot."
You got a problem with black boys?
No, I've had black boyfriends. 3 of them. 1 in 4th grade, although that doesn't really count, and 2 in middle school, which don't count either, 'cause nobody knows shit about a relationship in middle school, or about anything, really.
What?
He says.
I ain't know about them.
Because I knew you'd act crazy. Put a hit on them or something.
You know, that ain't a bad idea.
Daddy! I smack his arm as he cracks up.
Did Carlos know about them? He asks.
No. He would have ran background checks on them or arrested them. Not cool.
So why you tell him about the white boy?
I didn't tell him, I say. He found out. Chris lives down the street from him, so it was harder to hide. And let's be real here, Daddy. I've heard the stuff you've said about interracial couples. I didn't want you talking about me and Chris like that.
Chris, he mocks. What kind of plain-ass name is that?
He's so petty. Since you want to ask me questions, do you have a problem with white people?
Not really.
Not really?
Hey, I'm being honest. My thing is girls usually date boys who are like their daddies. And I ain't gonna lie, when I saw that white... Chris, he corrects, and I smile. I got worried. Thought I turned you against black men or didn't set a good example of a black man. I couldn't handle that.
I rest my head on his shoulder. Nah, Daddy. You haven't set a good example of what a black man should be. You've set a good example of what a man should be. Duh.
Duh,
He mocks and kisses the top of my head.
my baby.
A gray BMW comes to a sudden stop in front of the store. Daddy nudges me off the bench.
Come on.
He pulls me to his office and shoves me in. I catch a glimpse of King getting out the BMW before Daddy closes the door in my face. Hand shaking, I crack open the door. Daddy stands guard in the entrance of the store. His hand drifts to his waist, his piece. 3 other King Lords hop out the BMW, but Daddy calls out,
Nah, if you want to talk, we do this alone.
King nods at his boys. They wait beside the car. Daddy steps aside and King lumbers in. I'm ashamed to admit it, but I don't know if Daddy stands a chance against King. Daddy isn't skinny or short, but compared to King, who's pure muscle at 6 feet, he looks tiny. It's damn near blasphemous to think like that, though.
Where he at?
King asks.
Where who at? You know who. Vontae. How am I supposed to know?
Daddy says.
He was working here, wasn't he? For a day or 2, yeah. I ain't seen him today.
King paces and points his cigar at Daddy. Sweat glistens on the rolls of fat on the back of his head.
You lying. Why I gotta lie, King? All the shit I did for you, King says, and this how you repay me? Where he at, Big Mav? I don't know. Where he at?
King yells.
I said I don't know. He asked me for a couple $100 the other day. I told him he had to work for it, so he did. I had some mercy and paid it all up front like a dumbass. He was supposed to come in today and didn't. End of story. Why he need money from you when he stole 5 G's from me? Hell if I know, Daddy says. If I find out you lying, you ain't gotta worry about that. Got too many problems of my own. Oh yeah, I know about your problems, King says, a laugh bubbling from him. I heard Star the witness they been talking about on the news. Hope she know to keep her mouth shut when she's supposed to. What the hell is that supposed to mean? These cases are always interesting, King says. They dig for information, shit. They try to find out more about the person who died than the person who shot them. Make it seem like a good thing they got killed. They already saying Khalil sold drugs.
That can mean problems for anybody who may have been involved in his hustle. So people gotta be careful when they talking to the DA. Wouldn't want them to be in danger 'cause they ran their mouth. Nah,
Daddy says.
the folks who were involved in the hustle need to be careful about what they say or even think about doing.
There are several agonizing seconds of Daddy and King staring each other down. Daddy's hand is at his waist like it's glued there. King leaves, pushing the door hard enough to nearly break the hinges, the bell clanging wildly. He gets in his BMW. His minions follow, and he peels out, leaving the truth behind. He's gonna mess me up if I rat on him. Daddy sinks onto the old people's bench. His shoulders slump, and he takes a deep breath. We close early and pick up dinner from Reuben's. During the short drive home, I notice every car behind us, especially if it's gray.
I won't let him do anything to you,
Daddy says. I know, but still. Mama's beating the hell out of some steaks when we get home. First the skillet, and now red meat. Nothing in the kitchen is safe. Daddy holds up the bags for her to see.
I got dinner, baby.
It doesn't stop her from beating the steaks. We all sit around the kitchen table, but it's the quietest dinner in Carter family history. My parents aren't talking. Seven's not talking. I'm definitely not talking. Or eating. Between the disaster at the DA's office and King, my ribs and baked beans look disgusting. Sekani can't sit still, like he's itching to give every detail of his day. I guess he can tell nobody's in the mood. Bricks chomps and slobbers over some ribs in his corner. Afterward, Mama collects our plates and silverware. All right, guys, finish your homework. And don't worry, Star, your teachers gave me yours. Why would I worry about that? Thanks. She starts to pick up Daddy's plate, but he touches her arm.
Nah, I got it.
He takes all of the plates from her, dumps them in the sink, and turns the water on. Maverick, you don't have to do that. He squirts way too much dishwashing liquid in the sink. He always does.
It's cool. What time you gotta be at the clinic in the morning?
I'll be off again tomorrow. I have a job interview. Daddy turns around.
Another one?
Another one? Yeah, Markham Memorial again. That's where Aunt Pam works, I say. Yeah, her dad is on the board and recommended me. It's the pediatrics nursing manager. This is my second interview for it, actually. They want some of the higher-ups to interview me this time.
Baby, that's amazing,
Daddy says.
That means you're close to getting it, huh?
Hopefully, she says. Pam thinks it's as good as mine.
Why didn't you guys tell us?
Seven asks.
'Cause it's none of y'all business,
Daddy says. And we didn't want to get your hopes up, Mama adds. It's a competitive position.
How much does it pay?
Seven's rude self asks. More than what I make at the clinic. 6 figures. 6? Seven and I say. Mama's gonna be a millionaire, Sekani shouts. I swear he doesn't know anything. 6 figures is the 100,000, Sekani, I say. Oh, it's still a lot.
What time is your interview?
Daddy asks. 11.
Okay, good.
He turns around and wipes a plate.
We can look at some houses before you go to it.
Mama's hand goes across her chest and she steps back. What? He looks at me, then at her.
I'm getting us out of Garden Heights, baby. You got my word.
The idea is as crazy as a 4-point shot. Living somewhere other than Garden Heights? Yeah, right. I'd never believe it if it wasn't Daddy saying it. Daddy never says something unless he means it. King's threat must have really got to him. He scrubs the skillet that Mama stabbed this morning. She takes it from him, sets it down, and grabs his hand. Don't worry about that.
I told you it's cool. I can get the dishes.
Forget the dishes. And she pulls him to their bedroom and closes the door. Suddenly, their TV blares real loud, and Jodeci sings over it from the stereo. If that woman ends up with a fetus in her uterus, I will be completely done. Done.
Ew, man,
Seven says, knowing the deal too.
They're too old for that.
Too old for what? Sakani asks. Nothing, Seven and I say together. You think Daddy meant that, though? I ask Seven. We're moving? He twists one of his dreads at the root. I don't think he realizes he's doing it.
Sounds like y'all are, especially if Ma gets this job.
Y'all, I say. You're not staying in Garden Heights.
I mean, I'll visit, but I can't leave my mama and my sister, Star. You know that.
Your mama put you out, Sakani says. Where else you gonna go, stupid?
Who you calling stupid?
Seven sticks his hand under his armpit, then rubs it in Sakani's face. The one time he did it to me, I was 9. He got a busted lip, and I got a whooping. You're not gonna be at your mama's house anyway, I say. You're going away to college, hallelujah, thank Black Jesus. Seven raises his brows.
You want an armpit hand too? And I'm going to Central Community so I can stay at my mama's house and watch out for my sisters.
That stings a little. I'm his sister too. Not just them. House, I repeat. You never call it home.
Yeah, I do,
he says. No, you don't.
Yeah.
Shut the hell up. I end that argument. Ooh, Sakani holds his hand out. Gimme my $1. Hell no, I say. That shit doesn't work with me. $3. Okay, fine. I'll give you a $3 bill. I've never seen a $3 bill, he says. Exactly. And you'll never see my $3.